Hello, welcome back to Sunset Salutations. I've been looking forward to sharing this 30 minutes with you, knowing that there are no other obligations, that we'll find ourselves fully in the present moment. I'm enjoying the sound of the flowing water from the filtering pool right now. Let us begin with a passage from Wherever You Go, There You Are. This is called Practice, Practice, Practice. It helps to keep at it. As you begin befriending your breath, you see immediately that unawareness is everywhere. Your breath teaches you that not only does unawareness go with the territory, it is the territory. It does this by showing you over and over again that it's not so easy to stay with the breath, even if you want to. Lots of things intrude, carry us off, prevent us from concentrating. We see that the mind has gotten cluttered over the years like an attic, with old bags and accumulated junk. Just knowing this is a big step in the right direction. Now he continues in the next section by making sure we understand practice does not mean rehearsal. We use the word practice to describe the cultivation of mindfulness, but it is not meant in the usual sense of a repetitive rehearsing to get better and better so that a performance or a competition will go as well as possible. Mindfulness practice means that we commit fully in each moment to being present. There is no performance or to get anywhere else. We are not even running after special insights or visions, nor are we forcing ourselves to be non-judgmental, calm, or relaxed. And we are certainly not promoting self-consciousness or indulging in self-preoccupation. Rather, we are simply inviting others to interface with this moment in full awareness. And we are simply inviting ourselves too, with the intention to embody as best we can an orientation of calmness, mindfulness, and equanimity right here and right now. Of course, with continued practice and the right kind of firm yet gentle effort, calmness and mindfulness and equanimity develop and deepen on their own, out of your commitment to dwell in stillness and to observe without reaching and without judging. Realizations and insights, profound experiences of stillness and joy do come. But it would be incorrect to say that we are practicing to make these experiences happen, or that having more of them is better than having fewer of them. The spirit of mindfulness is to practice for its own sake, and just to take each moment as it comes, pleasant or unpleasant, good, bad, or ugly, and then work with that because it is what is present now. With this attitude, life itself becomes practice. Then, rather than doing practice, it might better be said that the practice is doing you, or that life itself becomes your meditation teacher and your guide. I love in this passage the discussion of finding everything in the present moment. I know that's an idea we keep returning to, and to do so without a constant adjudication or comparison. I find within myself such a desire at times to compare what I've done to what I'm doing. And the second that I do that, I'm plucking myself immediately out of the present. And this constant returning to the present is the form of practice that we're interested in, rather than noticing the difference between yesterday's practice and today's practice and seeing what we can do better. We're trying to find only the now and let go of the judgment, let go of the comparison. Today, I want to find a lift in our alignment. I'm going to remove my cushion here to get started. I'm going to find myself with a wide base, allowing my knees to find the edge of the mat, and I'm going to bend all the way forward here into my child's pose. Beautiful. From here, I'm going to tent my hands roll my shoulders down my spine, place my fingers firmly on the mat, and physically consider pushing the mat down and away from me while keeping my shoulders low into my back. Breathing fully here, stretching the spine long, enjoying the feeling of release, simultaneously stretching as long as possible, reaching into the ground, reaching far past beyond my fingertips, and moving up to find myself. Ready for cat-cow here, making sure that I have 90-degree angles, both from my hip to my waist to my knee, and from my waist to my shoulder down my arm. I want to make sure that I have wide fingers here and that I'm placing equal weight on each finger. I'm going to take a deep breath in and reach towards the sky. And look for my belly button. Beautiful. Deep breath in, taking all the way up. And exhaling, creating a deeper sense of rounding. Deep breath in. And exhale. Excellent. One more. Deep breath in. And exhale. Now allow yourself to explore the full movement of your spine, moving from left to right, creating circles and figure eights, getting that spine acclimated to a feeling of stretch and ease, releasing any muscular tension, freeing yourself up to find easy stillness and alignment. Great. From here, I'm going to put my my toes against my mat and stretch my legs. I don't need to stretch them all the way out. I'm just going to walk through my feet here, allowing a little bit of a bend in the knee, pushing all the way into my spine. Good work. And breathing a few breaths in this pose. Shaking your head no. Shaking your head yes. Spotting your belly button and allowing your lower back to fall. Great. Inhale, breathing yourself into plank. Good. And lower all the way down. Beautiful. And lifting up to the sky in upward dog or in cobra. Whatever works for you. Great. And exhaling back to downward dog. We're not super interested in stretching out our hamstrings here, but we want to feel that release through the spine, through the neck. Good. And coming back to all fours here, and just re-exploring, moving up and back, and notice if anything has let go. For me, I feel a tremendous difference there. And I feel glad to have explored that. I'm going to reach my hands all the way up. Pointer finger towards the sky. Deep breath in, keeping my left hip stabilized. Breathing all the way to the right. Great. Trying to find my shoulders all the way down my back without really overextending my ribs. Beautiful. finding yourself reaching towards the left. Awesome. And as we're exploring mudras, taking a second to find a breath or two in prayer, noticing the circulation of energy created, the feeling of harmony, beautiful. Grab your cushion and let's take our seat. As I find my way here, I'm allowing my knees to fall completely to the side. I'm making sure that I'm stabilized through the spine, that I'm rooted deeply through my seat bone, and I'm finding lightness through each vertebra, lifting up. Awesome. Remember the feeling of dignity in this posture, and encourage yourself to release tension and find the light effort of ease. Allow your eyes to close. Take a deep breath in through the nostrils and exhale. Allow yourself now to breathe normally and just notice the breath. Find yourself fully curious about each inhalation and each exhalation. If you find it helpful, internally breathe in, I am love, and on the exhale, I am peace. Deep breath in, I am love. Deep breath out, I am peace. If at any point the mind begins to wander, simply note it and return your energy to the breath. Place your pure curiosity into each inhale, each exhale. Connecting yourself to the now. The attitude of non-harming lies at the heart of practice and of the Hippocratic Oath. It was the underlying principle of Gandhi's revolution and of his personal meditation practice. Why not try to live so as to cause as little damage and suffering as possible? We would be more generous towards ourselves as well, on the meditation cushion and off it. Like any other view, non-harming may be a terrific principle, but it is the living of it that counts. You can start practicing gentleness on yourself and in your life with others in any moment. Do you sometimes find that you are hard on yourself and put yourself down? See it and let it go. Do you talk about others behind their backs? See it and let it go. Do Do you push yourself beyond your limits with no regard for your body and your well-being? See it and let it go. Do you cause other people pain or grief? See it and let it go. The willingness to harm or hurt comes ultimately out of fear. Non-harming requires that you see your own fears and that you understand them and own them. Owning them means taking responsibility for them. Taking responsibility means not letting fear completely dictate your vision or your view. Only mindfulness of our own clinging and rejecting, and a willingness to grapple with these mind states, however painful the encounter, can free us from this circle of suffering. Without a daily embodiment of practice, lofty ideals tend to succumb to self-interest. Find yourself fully invested in the breath. If your mind wanders, consider utilizing the mantra. Breathe in, I am love. Breathe out, I am peace. You have an opportunity in this moment to practice non-harming. Be generous with yourself. Find investment in the breath. Let go of any other thoughts. And allow yourself this moment to simply experience. Allow a moment now for your mind to wander. Release the energy on experiencing the breath. on your own time. Allow your awareness to come back into your physical body. Feel the sensation of the air against your skin. Notice temperature. Engage with sound. And when it feels good to you, wiggle your fingers and toes. Allow your eyes to open. At this point in my practice, I generally enjoy taking a few minutes to rest and restore, either lying on my back with my knees falling into each other, releasing any feeling of tension. You may also enjoy falling to your side, whatever is most comfortable for you. I'd like to share with you a passage called Selfing. I, me, and mine are products of our thinking. My friend Larry Rosenberg calls it selfing, that inevitable and incorrigible tendency to construct out of almost everything in every situation an I, a me, and a mine, and then to operate in the world from that limited perspective, which is mostly fantasy and defense. Hardly a moment passes that this doesn't happen, but it is so much a part of the fabric of our world that it goes completely unnoticed. Much as the proverbial fish has no knowledge of water, so thoroughly is it immersed in it. Out of virtually any and every moment and experience, our thinking mind constructs my moment, my experience, my child, my hunger, my desire, my opinion, my way, my authority, my future, my knowledge, my body, my mind, my house, my land, my idea, my feelings, my car, my problem. If you observe this process of selfing with sustained attention and inquiry, you will see that what we call the self is really a construct of our own mind, and hardly a permanent one either. If you look deeply for a stable, indivisible self, for the core you that underlies your experience, you are not likely to find it other than in more thinking. You may say you are your name, but that is not quite accurate. Your name is just a label. The same is true of your age, your gender, your opinions, and so on. None are fundamental to who you are. When you inquire in this way, as deeply as you can follow the thread into who you are or what you are almost sure the I who is thinking, who am I? Ultimately, you come to, I don't know. The I just appears as a construct which is known by its attributes, none of which, taken singly or together, really make up the whole of the person. Moreover, the I construct has the tendency continually to dissolve and deconstruct itself, virtually moment by moment. It also has a strong tendency to feel diminished, small, insecure, and uncertain, since its existence is so tenuous to begin with. This only makes the tyranny and suffering associated with unawareness of how much we are caught up in I, me, and mine that much worse. Then there is the problem of outside forces. The I tends to feel good when outside circumstances are supporting its belief in its own goodness, and bad when it runs into criticism, difficulties, and what it perceives as obstacles and defeats. Here perhaps lies a major explanation for diminished self-esteem in many people. We aren't really familiar with this constructed aspect of our identity process. This makes it easy for us to lose our balance and feel vulnerable and inconsequential when we are not propped up and reinforced in our need of approval or feeling important. We are likely to continually seek interior stability through outside rewards, through material possessions, and from others who love us. In this way, we keep ourself, nor calmness in mind. In this way, we keep our self-construct going. Yet in spite of all of this self-generating activity, there may still be no sense of enduring stability in one's own being, nor calmness in the mind. Buddhists might say that this is just because there is no absolute separate self in the first place, just the process of continual self-construction or selfing. If we could only recognize the process of selfing as an ingrained habit, and then give ourselves permission to take the day off, to stop trying so hard to be somebody, and instead just experience being, perhaps we would be a lot happier and more relaxed. This doesn't mean, by the way, that you have to be a somebody before you can be a nobody. One of the big New Age distortions of meditation practice, by which is meant that you should have a robust sense of self before you explore the emptiness of no self. No self does not mean being a nobody. What it means is that everything is interdependent and that there is no isolated independent for you. You are only you in relationship to all other forces and events in the world, including your parents, your childhood, your thoughts and feelings, outside events, time, so on. Moreover, you are already a somebody, no matter what. You are who you already are. But who you are is not your name, your age, your childhood, your beliefs, your fears. They are part of it, but not the whole. So when we speak about not trying so hard to be somebody and instead just experience being directly, what it means is that you start from where you find yourself and work here. Meditation is not about trying to become a nobody or a contemplative zombie incapable of living in the real world and facing real problems. It's about seeing things as they are, without the distortions of our own thought process. Part of that is perceiving that everything is interconnected, and that while our conventional sense of having a self is helpful in many ways, it is not absolutely real or solid or permanent. So if you stop to make yourself into more than you are out of fear that you are less than, whoever you really are will be a lot lighter and happier and easier to live with too. We might begin by taking things a little less personally. When something happens, try to see it without the self-orientation, just for fun. Maybe it just happened. Maybe it's not aimed at you. Ask yourself, who am I? Or what is this I that I'm claiming ownership of? Awareness itself can balance out the selfing and reduce its impact. Notice too that the self is impermanent. Whatever you try to hold on to that has to do with yourself eludes you. It can't be held because it is constantly changing, decaying, and being reconstructed again, always slightly different, depending on the circumstances of the moment. This makes the sense of self, what is called in chaos theory, a strange attractor, a pattern which embodies order, yet is also unpredictably disordered. It never repeats itself. Whenever you look, it is slightly different. The elusive nature of a concrete, permanent, unchanging self is quite a hopeful observation. It means that you can stop taking yourself so seriously and get out from under the pressures of having the details of your life be central to the operating of the universe. By recognizing and letting go of selfing impulses, we accord the universe a little more room to make things happen. Since we are folded into the universe and participate in its unfolding, it will defer in the face of too much self-centered, self-indulgent, self-critical, self-insecure, self-anxious activity on our part, and arrange for the dream world of our self-oriented thinking to look and feel only too real. I hope you're as inspired by that passage as I am. The idea that letting go maybe of blame for ourselves for the way things are working out, and acknowledging how complex we are interweaved into our society, our environment, and realizing that there's only so much within our own control, and that going moment by moment may help us to feel a greater understanding of where we are and who we are. I'm going to leave you with this short quote. The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and sense in which he has attained liberation from the self. Albert Einstein, The World as I See It. Thank you so much for joining me for Sunset Salutations. I look forward to seeing you again soon.